All right, so our AdventureWorks dashboard is coming along great. We've built out our executive dashboard, our map, the product detail view is coming along nicely, and you've done a great job building that customer report as well. Now we're going to shift gears a little bit. We're going to shift away from building new visuals and components and start thinking about how to enhance our dashboard and user experience using some really cool Power BI features. And the first thing we're going to explore is called bookmarks. So bookmarks essentially capture the current state of a report page, including any filters that have been applied. And then they allow users to return to that exact state using something called report actions. So a few common use cases for bookmarks include clearing all filters on a page, kind of returning to an unfiltered state, highlighting specific insights or patterns, or helping users navigate report pages or views. So here's an example here. We're looking at the exact summary page unfiltered. We could use a bookmark to take users straight to a specific filtered view, in this case, bike sales in Europe for the first half of 2022. So this is a simple but powerful tool in Power BI and a great way to add more interactivity to your reports. Let's give this a shot. All right, so open up your AdventureWorks report, head to the Exec Dashboard tab, and our goal for this demo is to give users a simple way to return to this default unfiltered state. So I want users to be able to explore the data, drill into different categories or time periods or products, but I want to create that user-friendly way to get back to square one. Now, one thing to note that we haven't called out specifically quite yet is that you'll notice that as you apply a filter to one visual and then switch to filtering another visual, it kind of overrides the previous filter that you had set. But let's say you wanted to see the top sold clothing product specifically for a specific month. You can actually hold control as you're applying filters to kind of stack them together and get at that more granular view. So let's say we wanted to see the top accessories sold in May 2022. We can drill into that time period, hold control, click the accessories bar, and now we see those top 10 accessories products, along with the most ordered subcategory and most returned subcategory for accessories specifically. So you can simply just click on a blank space in a visual to get back to this view, but let's go ahead and add a button and assign a bookmark to it just to make things a bit more user-friendly. So we'll confirm that we've got all filters cleared here. This is the default state that we want to capture with this bookmark. So what I'm going to do here is go into my bookmark setting, which looks like this ribbon here. I'm going to add a new bookmark, double click to name it, and we'll call it Clear Exec Filters. Press enter. And it's really as simple as that. I've literally just created a bookmark that's synced up or tied to this specific report page state. Now, the next step is to create some way to trigger that bookmark, right? And that's where buttons come into play. So if you head to the Insert tab, you'll see this button drop down in the Element section. You've got a bunch of preset options here. And in this case, I think the reset format, this icon, will work quite well. So we're going to drop it into our report. You can see it's going to drop it up here in the top left corner. Going to resize things a little bit here. Nudge it down a bit. Something like that looks pretty good. So now we have a button, but it doesn't do anything quite yet. So if we select that button, head to Format, we've got this option down here called Action. And that's what we're going to use to tie this button to the bookmark we just created. So let's turn on actions for this button. And the action type will be a bookmark. Once we've done that, we can actually select a specific bookmark. In this case, we just have the one we created, Clear Exec Filters. And that's going to trigger that bookmark when this particular button is clicked. Last thing before we test it, you can add a hover tooltip over the button as well. And let's type something like click to clear all filters. Looks good. And now if we hover, see that tooltip, click to clear all filters. And we can go ahead and test. Now, important note here with buttons in Power BI Desktop, clicking it will simply select the object because we're essentially in build mode right now. If we want to test the actual action associated with that button, you have to control click. So first thing we need to do is actually apply some filters so that we can see these unfiltered to make sure our bookmark is working properly. So there we go. We've got some filters applied. Let's control click that reset button. Boom, back to our default unfiltered state. So that's working exactly as we'd like it to. last thing I want to do is show you some really cool formatting settings that we can use to customize this button look and feel. So let's collapse our action menu here and let's go into our button style. The key thing to call out here is that you can apply different formatting settings to different states of the button, like the default state, which it's in right now, the hover state, the press state, or the disabled state. So by default, I'd like this icon to just be white and everything else looks good. So we're just going to change the line color of the icon to white. You can see it update right here. And I don't think I need to change anything else. But now what I'll do is change the format on hover to make it very clear that this is a button. And when it's hovered, we're going to use that bright blue color, which is hex code 20E2D7 if you don't have it in your palette. There we go. Now watch when you hover the cursor over it. See how it changes to that bright blue. And let's do the same thing for on press. We'll use that same bright blue that we just used. So let's collapse our format pane. Maybe we test it one more time. Hover, control click. Formatting states look good. And we've jumped to our unfiltered report page. Now, if you're using a brand new version of Power BI, you may have noticed some new buttons available, one of which is called Clear All Slicers. And that's actually going to drop a new button in that literally says Clear All Slicers, but that's not actually what we want here. This is a bit more limited. It only clears filters that have been applied with slicers that are visible on the page, which we actually don't have. So our button is going to be a bit more appropriate for this particular use case. Just wanted to call that out in case anyone noticed those new button options available. So there you go. That's one very common use case for bookmarks, clearing report filters. Like we talked about, another common use case is drawing attention to interesting patterns or insights. And that's exactly what you're going to be doing in your course assignment coming up next.